Hello everyone, today is May the 6th, 2014, and this is a private video. Again, I told you I was going to make little segments today, and I have another segment I would like to discuss about. Today, I want to discuss about something we've been hearing about for quite some time now. This is about Flight 370, and this is very ironic of what's going on and what you don't hear about. Okay, what we hear today is that this Flight 370 from Malaysia disappeared on its way towards China, which is straight up north to Malaysia. However, it veered off strangely, veered off to the left and into the western part of Australia, into the Indian Ocean. Anybody with a mind can tell you that why would a plane going from Malaysia and supposed to go northwards to China veer off far off to the left and disappear into the Indian Ocean, if you look at your geography. And now they seem to can't find this plane. Why is this, and what is going on? What is the story behind this strange flight? Okay, it sounds like a movie I saw before. But anyway, the thing is that the pieces are starting to fall in place here, but we don't seem to see the whole thing yet. And I'm going to tell you a little bit of what I have here, okay? Now, it has been... Now, I'm reading about something here that was posted on a site that we have discussed about. These are certain sites that post these areas and get information, collect these information from data and all that, where you could get these areas. But however, the mainstream media again will not and does not tell you about this. Okay, I'm going to read to you about what's going on behind this Flight 370, and in the end you make your conclusion on what's going on. All right, whether you believe me or not, whether you go for this truth or not, you make your own investigation, find out, because this flight did not just disappear out of thin air or crash or what have you. Let me go on, okay? It has recently come to light that an American IBM employee working in Beijing, Philip Wood, was aboard hijacked Malaysia Airlines Flight 370. His fiance has been all over national TV expressing her hopes that he is still alive. Now listen to this, okay? What has not released publicly is the breaking news was that Mr. Woods was apparently able to secretly have his smartphone between his legs, and while the plane was hijacked, as reported by Jeff Freestone. Okay, this was reported by Jeff Freestone. Now again, Mr. Woods, Philip Woods, texts Mr. Freestone, Jeff Freestone, who has a site called Freelance Journalist. Okay, that is Mr. Stone's site you could go on to. Now let me go back to this situation here. While blindfolded, Mr. Woods, with one of those new fangled bags that are locked around your head and are not removable, he allegedly claimed to be in a prison cell. Okay, Philip Wood texted his wife, or fiance I should say, and stated that he was being hijacked and again was in his prison cell in a location unknown to him, and he said that he believed he and had been drugged, but he was still able to activate his smartphone using voice command to text that message, plus a photograph which reveals the GPS coordinates for Mr. Wood's whereabouts. Now, a photograph was taken from his smartphone. Okay? The photograph indicates something very mysterious here. Let me get to this here. I'm going to read once more. While blindfolded, Mr. Woods again claimed to be in a prison cell in a location unknown to him, and he said that he had believed he had been drugged. Now, mind you, Philip Woods was on a flight 370 working for IBM, okay, in China. Took his smartphone using his voice command to text that message, which reveals the GPS coordinates for Wood's whereabouts to be the joint RAF and U.S. Air Force base at Diego Garcia, an island, okay, in the Indian Ocean. How about that? The same base from which most sorties have been made during the illegal wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. Now here he is, Philip Wood claimed and text from his phone that the plane 370, flight 370, was hijacked. He himself was drugged, and he took some photos and indicated that whereabouts of his GPS system coordinated to an island by the name of Diego Garcia. This is an island, a base in the Indian Ocean, of which we had sorties, which is flights from that place over to Iraq and Afghanistan to bomb them. Okay? Although Freestone claimed that counterintelligence trolls tried to assert that this person does not exist, his fiance has been doing TV interviews throughout the past week, and his LinkedIn account has been located with his profile picture matching photos posted by his fiance to her Facebook account, which are viewable with a simple Google image search. You could go out and do it yourself. Now, he goes on to say, as to the motives behind this apparent hijacking, now this is very important, and I want you to understand what it says here, okay? As to the motives behind this apparent hijacking, which is being covered up by the several governments, the following is a reacted translation from an article by Alfredo Jalef Rami from the Mexican news site La Jornada, entitled, okay? Jornada, La Jornada. Now again, I'm going to repeat that because I got a little mixed up with these words here from on this company here. As to the motives behind this apparent hijacking, which is being covered up by several governments, remember, we can't seem to find this plane here. Just like we couldn't find a man called Bin Laden in the mountains for over 10 years. Now we can't find a plane in the water. We can find planets in the solar system light years away, but we can't find a plane in the ocean. Okay. Again, one more time, as to the motives behind this apparent hijacking, which is being covered up by several governments, and I think you know some of them right now, The following is a reenacted translation from an article by Alfredo Jalif, okay? Ramier, Rahme, from the Mexican news site La Jornada. Under the microscope, Blackstone and Jacob Rothschild's beneficiaries of the disappearance of the Malaysia Airlines plane. Now under that, you get that. Do you smell a rat here? Or you just hear about a flight disappearing off the Indian Ocean? I think a Zionist Jew comes into play here. Because when you hear about this, it says under the microscope, Blackstone and Jacob Rothschild, beneficiaries of the disappearance of the Malaysian Airlines plane, okay? In the post-China tripolar geostrategic world of the US, Russia, and China, it is becoming imperative to test the West. The criminal mainstream media overwhelmingly disinformational news campaigns, like I stated, against reports from the Russian government's almost indispensable multimedia websites. Russia Today, such as I just stated. As often happens in mysterious accidents, the unusual disappearance of Malaysia Airlines Flight 370, whose various explanations have been wholly unsatisfactory to everyone, has led to endless speculations, some of which is rather wild and disturbing. Well, a lot of people are still speculating whether the airplane has gone into the Bermuda Triangle, alien abduction, crashed in the water, we can't get to it. Your assumption is your guess, okay? While waging war against sanctions by the United States and the European Union against Vladimir Putin, Russia Today published the following patent for a semiconductor approved by the U.S. Patent Office. Okay? The patent was shared among 5 principal holders, owning, now get this, the patent was shared among 5 principal holders, owning 20% each. Freescale Semiconductor Company, located in Austin, Texas, with other 4 holders being Chinese nationals employed by the Texas Corporation, all hailing from the Chinese city of Suzhou, Suzhou, and all of whom were aboard the plane. Okay, let me repeat that. The patent was shared among 5 principal holders owning 20% each. Freescale Semiconductor Company, located in Austin, Texas, with the other 4 holders being Chinese nationals employed by Texas Corporation, all hailing from the Chinese city of Suzhou, all of whom were aboard the plane, along with 16 other employees of the same company. How about that? A little more mystery to this mystery. The Russian site says that if any patent holder dies, now get this, here's another one here. The Russian site says that if any patent holder, remember we had some holders there of the patent, okay? If any holder dies, the other owners would share equally the dividends of the deceased, provided that there would be no dispute in his will. Interesting. The 4 Chinese patent holders now missing and or killed would leave 100% ownership of the patent in the hands of the Texas-based Freescale Semiconductor Company, which in turn is particularly owned the controversial Blackstone Group, a New York-based private equity investment banking firm, okay? Owned by the Israeli British banker Jacob Rothschild. Are we getting somewhere here, folks? Okay. It is also interesting to note that among the 239 passengers, 20 were employees of the Pentagon. In addition to the fact that 4 passengers had dubious passports, okay, not 2 as widely reported. Above the inevitable guesses, what is relevant is that likelihood that these 20 Pentagon employees were well versed in the art of electronic warfare. Now here's another one for you folks. I'm going to repeat that. Above the inevitable guesses, what is relevant is that the likelihood that these 20 Pentagon employees were well versed in the art of electronic warfare. And I'm going to get to this really soon for you because this is very important. Pertaining to Iran, okay? Such as the avoidance of detecting and this detection by military radar systems. Again, such as the avoidance of detection by military radar systems. Curious as well as that 20 of the missing passengers aboard Flight 370 were employees of Freescale Semiconductor. Okay? 12 were natives of Malaysia and 8 from China. Freescale Semiconductor boasts that its products have applications in communications on the battlefield, avionics, missile guidance, electronic warfare, and identification of friend or foe. This is getting somewhere now. The controversial Texas company, one of the first semiconductor companies in the world, began as a division of Motorola, which then split to be acquired in 2006 by Blackstone and the Cargill Group. Another dark, shadowy group here. The Cargill Group, okay? And TPG Sovereign Capital. The Cargill Group holds the title of dynastic nepotism, N-E-P-O-T-I-S-M, okay? Including members of the Bush family members and cronies like Frank Carlucci, former National Security Advisor and former Pentagon Secretary, I should say. Frank Carlucci, former National Security Advisor and former Pentagon Secretary, and former British Prime Minister John Major. Wow. We got a bunch of goodies on these guys, don't we, huh? TPG Capital is a wonderful investment firm is a powerful investment firm based in Fort Worth, Texas, chaired by Israeli-American David Bonderim. Okay? Again, I'm going to repeat that. TPG Capital is a powerful investment firm based in Fort Worth, Texas. chaired by Israeli-American David Bonderman. Okay, Bonderman, who extravagant excess include paying $7 million to Rolling Stones to play at his 60th birthday party in 2002. Guess he likes them. $7 million. Played to the band, Rolling Stone band, with Mick Jagger to play at his birthday party. Freescale Semiconductor specializes in, here it is, electronic warfare and stealth cloaking technology using strategies based on radar electronic countermeasures, or ECM. Okay? Radar interference, changes in the objectives, and the change in the power air properties. According to the Daily Beast, again, according to the Daily Beast, an Israeli attack on Iran would go further than an airstrike and would probably deploy an electronic war against the entire electronic system of Iran. So here they got this device, they call it an ECM, or electronic countermeasure radar interference, which I could call the same thing as an EMP. And EMP is another powerful weapon, electronic magnetic pulse. Okay? This will fry any power grids, from a car to a power grid of a company, a factory, or anything. Anything that uses electronic pieces such as microchips, wirings, you name it, will be fried. And this they are using to a secret attack on Iran. Let me go on to say here, okay? I'm going to just be quickly finishing up on this. The Daily Beast asserts that Israel has deployed, the Daily Beast asserts that Israel has developed a weapon capable of mimicking the maintenance of cellular signal, which effectively stops the transmissions. Also note, YouTube poster Dabu claims that the plane purported to be missing in this incident, okay, for its tail number, was purchased by an Israeli firm and has been held in storage in Tel Aviv since November 2013. Wow, this is getting into Israel, deeper and deeper into Israel. Why is Israel always into these stories that you see since September 11 and all the other stories I can take of? I can show you about Levon Affair, attack on the Liberty, 1967, 2011 World Trade Center attack. Why is Israel always into these areas? Why is the Israeli government always into something like this and not being reported, not being investigated? Now, I'm going to repeat that again. Also note, YouTube pop star Dabu claims that the plane purportedly to be missing in this incident per its tail number was purchased by an Israeli firm and has been held in storage in Tel Aviv since 2013, according to the plane tracking websites. You can check this out on Dabu's video and permanent links here, okay? Now, I just want to finish up on some matters. In the past decade, Israel has amassed a wide range of high-tech weapons of that would allow a billionaire to jam, blind and deafen Tehran defenses. Tehran is the capital of Iran, if you didn't know. Okay, I'm going to repeat that. In the past decade, Israel has amassed a wide range of high-tech weapons of that would allow a billionaire to jam and deafen Tehran's defenses in the event of a preemptive air strike, which means they will use this device to electronically slam Iran, blind them by destroying all of their electronic systems, then comes their airstrike afterwards. Moreover, there is a new stealth technology that makes aircraft invisible to radar and hidden from human eyes, with the high-tech camouflage based on electromagnetic fields, as discussed on military.com. Currently, Beijing and Washington are each accelerating the arms race in their technology to create invisible planes. The powerful British military company BAF Systems, and linked to the NSA, DHS, and the ominous Wilson Center, owes the Swedish founder Adaptive Program, another firm specializing in cloaking technology for motor vehicles, boats, and helicopters. Are the grim financial behemoths of the Blackstone Group, the Cargill Group, and TPG Capital behind the missing plane? That's the question they have here. As I just read to you folks, you just heard it here. Many of you think that this plane has disappeared, crashed in the ocean. Why is it that we have trouble finding it? We can locate a star system light years away. We can locate all types of matters around the world, in the ocean, on mountains, in space, another planet, stars, meteors. We can't locate and find a plane that was missing. I mean, anybody could tell you here, folks, that a plane taking off from Malaysia, going straight up to China, veers off to the left into the Indian Ocean. It's missing. Well, again, anyone with a mind would ask, why look to the left and not in between Malaysia and China? If it did crash, it would crash between Malaysia and China, in the middle there, not veer off to the left where Garcia Base, as I stated, is located. Thanks for watching. Hope this was informative for you. Hope you like it.